Hello students, in this video we are going to see about timber as a construction material. A tree that yields good wood for construction is called standing timber. After felling as a tree, its branches are cut down and its stem is roughly converted into pieces of suitable length so that it can be transported to timber yard. This form of timber is known as rough timber. By sawing, rough timber is converted into various commercial sizes like planks, battens, posts, beams, and etc. Such form of timber is known as converted timber. So, timber is a processed wood. So, what process is happening? So, that is called seasoning and other post seasoning processes. And if you note down this particular image, you can able to understand a particular type of tree alone can be utilized for construction purposes. So what is that? And understand, not all the trees available on the earth will have these kind of structure, right? So certain type of trees only will be having these type of structures, and that kind of trees only will be preferred for timber conversion and further construction application. So what is that classification that we should know first? So, right. So the classification of timbers can be can be made based on several categories. The first one is classification based on mode of growth. So how a tree grows. So based on that, we are having certain classification. First one is exogenous trees and endogenous trees. So exogenous trees are grow outward by adding distinct and consecutive rings every year. So these rings are called annular rings. Hence, it is possible to find the age of timber by counting these annual rings. These trees may further divided into coniferous and deciduous trees, and then endogenous trees. These trees grows inwards, which means fresh and fibrous mass is available in the innermost portion. For example, endogenous trees can be given example as bamboo and cane, sugar cane, for example, you can say. So they are not useful for structural works. Why? Because exogenous trees having a tendency of growing more in lateral direction comparing its vertical direction, whereas endogenous trees are having a tendency of growing in more in vertical direction comparing to its lateral direction. Due to that lean structural feature, endogenous trees cannot be able to bear the load, the structural application, it cannot be suitable, so that only people are going for exogenous trees. So this particular image shows the structural inner structural about our exogenous trees, right? So this is what is being given here as well. So how a cross sectional profile of an exogenous trees will look like? So this is how it will be. So once you cut down from the center to the outermost layer, we will be having pith, hardwood, then around the hardwood sapwood portion, then cambium layer, inner bark, outer bark, and finally medullary rags, which holds all these annual rings in the place. So out of all these components, the sapwood is having importance here because it is the layer next to the hardwood. It denotes recent growth and contains sap. It takes active part in the growth of trees by allowing sap to move in upward direction, which means by simple sentence that this sapwood portion is the responsibility is having the responsibility to circulate the enough moisture content throughout the tree for its further growth and development. So if you want to convert this wood into a timber, you should treat that particular sapwood portion, right? So that process is called nothing but seasoning, that we will see, right? So then again we will go for that classification. The second classification is based on modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity you would have heard studied in your physics subject, where for an elastic material, stress and strain will be proportional to each other up to an elastic limit. So that is called that statement of Young's. So based on that statement, we will be having an elasticity constant for each and every material. Even any hard material also will have certain very least value of elasticity modulus value. So here, based on that elasticity modulus value, people are having the types of timbers. So like group A, where the elasticity modulus will be up to 12.5 kilonewton per square, like that group B and group C. So why are where such modulus of elasticity based classification of timbers will be useful? So for example, there is a remote area, and we cannot be able to provide any constructed road or bridges over that place, in that place. So people are having decided to cut down some trees and making some bridges for their purposes, for their daily uses. And if you see that particular bridge, that span, the place and the part of the bridge where over people used to walk, right? So that particular portion has to be made with the help of timber, in the sense that timber should have certain elasticity modulus. Then only it can able to bear the load of people who are passing over it from one age to another age, right? So in these kind of applications, and some other place where some timbers are used as a long span roof material. Span in the sense distance between consecutive supports. If you just look above your roof wherever you are right now, and the roof slab is resting on some walls. So what is the distance between those walls? That is called span. If the span is so large, then your roof slab, that slab should have certain stability parameter, so that only it can able to withstand there without a bending effect, right? So similarly, and the timber wherever it is used as the bridge component or such a roof component, it should have certain elasticity, so that only it may not break immediately totally. It may bend and recover, like that it may able to sustain further, right? So that places and the modulus of elasticity would be useful. So then classification based on durability. Yes, how long a particular type of timber can withstand the external conditions, whether it may be higher temperature, lower temperature, higher humidity, whatever it may be. So how people are identifying the durability of timber? They are taking a specimen sample piece of timber of size 600 in length, 550 cross 50 dimension of timber, and they are burying it in a lengthwise, which means they are burying it some 300 millimeter length inside the ground, and they let it as it is, right? So and they are observing its changing structural profile over a very large number of years. So then, based on the observations noted out, they classify the timbers as high durable timber, moderately durable, and low durable timbers. So if the average life is more than 10 years, so when they bury such a sample timber in the ground and they monitor it for some 5 years or 6 years, so even after some more number of years as average, the timber doesn't show any structural deformation or any kind of damages over its surface or in structure, then it can be called as high durable timber. So like that, they may have a set of norms how to name in terms of its durability based on that observation, right? So high durable timber will have lifetime more than 10 years, moderate durable timbers will have up to 5 to 10 years, then low durability will be only less than or equal to 5 years. Then classification based on grading. So here the grading indicates nothing but official or recognizable government based classification of timber. Yes, our government gives certain classification based on this IS code. IS code is nothing but a Indian standard, right? So understand, in civil engineering practice or mechanical engineering practice, people used to have these IS codes in designing certain structural components. So in case of civil engineering, it would be about building components. In case of mechanical engineering, it will be about machine components, right? So what is this IS? So for designing any or executing any civil engineering related activities, we should know the expert guidelines, so how to do it, the manual, so that in simple terms, the IS codes can be called as manuals of doing various construction activity. For example, I need to test a brick and I need to test the timber. So how I should do, how I should proceed. So all these questions will be answered in different IS codes. For example, here IS 883, which enacted in the year of 1970, gives the structural timber into three grades, which means grade 1, grade 2, and selection grade. So this classification is based on various mechanical and engineering properties such as permissible stress, defects, water absorption, durability, etc. Right? So IS codes are everywhere in civil engineering activities. Certain IS codes are dedicated to certain division of activities. So here, in case of timber, it is IS 883, just number, right? And followed by year in which it is enacted. So that's it, right? So then the final classification is based on availability. So availability in the sense, trees only gives timber. So all the trees are not available throughout the year. So that is the fact here. And so yes, based on the availability of trees in a given year, we are classifying the derived timbers as well. So if certain trees are available very most in common and throughout the year, then they can be called as X category of timber. So which may be available even up to 1415 meter cube per year. So like that, certain number of trees or type of trees will be available in some medium level common only. So they can be called as Y category of timber. They may be available in the quantity of 355 to 1415 meter cube per year. Then certain types of trees may be very leastly available in a given year. So in the range of 355 meter cube or lesser than that also per year. So those category can be called as Z category of timber, right? Z or Z, right? So whatever it may be according to your pronunciation. So these and all are your classification of timbers, right? So starting from the growth based classification, exogenous and endogenous, then modulus of elasticity based, then durability based, then IS code, central government of Indian, right? India. So like this IS code, every country would have their own national standard codes, right? So that you should understand. It's not globally framed one, but it's national level frameworks, right? Then finally classification based on availability.